And over the weekend, practitioners of the Falun Gong spiritual group held a parade and rally in New York. The occasion marked the 11th anniversary of a protest in Beijing when thousands of practitioners appealed for their freedom of belief.
On Saturday, April 24th, more than 1,000 Falun Gong practitioners held a parade and rally in Flushing, New York. They were there to appeal for an end to the Chinese regime's persecution of Falun Gong practitioners in China. The date is significant for these practitioners. On April 25, 1999, 10,000 Falun Gong practitioners gathered outside the State Council Appeals Office in Beijing. They were there calling for the release of practitioners arrested in the nearby city of Tianjin and for their right to practice the traditional Chinese meditation discipline. They met with then Premier Zhu Rongji, and the protest ended peacefully. But less than 3 months later, the Chinese Communist Party, under orders from then top leader Jiang Zemin, banned people from practicing Falun Gong. Since 1999, Chinese authorities have engaged in a systematic persecution of Falun Gong practitioners. In its 2009 annual report, Amnesty International called them one of the most harshly persecuted groups in China. The Falun Dafa Information Center, which documents human rights abuses, says at least 3,300 Falun Gong practitioners have been killed as a result of police brutality or other forms of persecution. That persecution has led practitioners to bring their appeals outside China, to places like Flushing, one of the fastest growing Chinese communities in the U.S.
And what has to happen is for every American to step up and say any discrimination against anybody, but especially Falun Gong members, is wrong, not only here in the United States, but in communist China.
11 years ago, Shui Hairong was one of the many standing outside the appeals office in Beijing. In 2000, she was imprisoned and tortured for 7 years for practicing Falun Gong, but she says she has no regrets.
Even though I've experienced these things, I don't regret the past. I think truth will triumph over evil, and a new day will come.
NTD News, New York.
And for more on the events of April 25th, 1999, and their dramatic impact on Falun Gong and the rest of Chinese society, watch part 1 of our special program, A Decade of Courage. That's at www.adecadeofcourage.com.